Okay, so we have got a rectangle here. We could think of it as a room or a house or something like that. So if we were to find the perimeter, of course, we would be measuring the distance of each side of this rectangle, add them all together. If we're finding area, it is the space inside all these boxes. It's a little bit easier to visualize when we actually have these boxes here. So the area is the space inside. What we could do, and it would take a while, but we could go count every single little tile inside this box. So we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We already know now that that is 6, say 6 meters. So we could, again, count them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62,
63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70.
71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85,
86, 87, 88, 89, 90. So if we went through, we counted every single box up, we could count 90 of our little tiles. We're saying that each tile is 1 meter by 1 meter, so we call it meter squared. 90 meters squared. It's not very efficient to go and count every single box on every single area question that you do. So of course we're going to use a method that's going to be quicker. So let's take a new color here. The easier way would be to get groups of, do some multiplication. We know that on this one side it's 6 meters. On the bottom side, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 meters. So really what this is it is 15 groups of 6. There's 15 tiles along the bottom. There's 6 tiles going up on every single section. 15 groups of 6. So we could think of it like 15 times 6 equals 90. So if we look on our actual box here, this would be
1 group of 6, 2 groups of 6, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups, 6 groups of 6, 7 groups, 8 groups, 9 groups, 10 groups, 11 groups, 12 groups,
13 groups, 14 groups, 15 groups of 6. 15 times 6 equals 90 meters squared. Can't forget the squared, that's incredibly important. So the area is 15 times 6, one side times the other side, the length times the width. Length times width equals area. 15 times 6 equals 90. Okay, so what if we wanted to find the perimeter and area of a shape that's not just a rectangle or just a square, like this one? Now for perimeter, it's pretty simple. We're just going to add up all the sides. Add up this one's 3, let's say this is going to be 3 kilometers. Let's say this is going to be a really big shape, maybe the size of a huge property somewhere. 3 kilometers, we could count this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kilometers. 1, 2, 3 kilometers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kilometers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kilometers, and 1. Well, what we could do is we could add the 5 and the 9, add those two together. 5 plus 9 is 14, and that tells us the length of that bottom line, because it's just added the 5 kilometer line with the 9 kilometer line. So we could add all those together. 14 plus 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6. 14 plus 3 is 17, plus 3 is 20, plus 5 is 25, plus 6 equals 31 kilometers. So nice and simple, our perimeter, the fence going around that whole big huge property would have to be 31 kilometers of fencing. So what about our area? Area is that inside space, all this in the middle. So we can't just do our multiplication of, let's say, the bottom by the side, the width by the height. Because what about all this space in here? If we multiplied down here the width by the height, that would be the area of that entire space plus this over here. And that's not true. So one option is we could technically go and count all the boxes inside, right? That would work. We could do that. We could go 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37,
55, 56, 57. We could go count all those. That would take forever. Let me do some erasing here. What did we say? This one was 9. So what we can do instead is we can try and break this shape up. We can try and split it up so it makes two separate rectangles or squares. So take a second look at it. Where could I put a line that would make this into two separate squares rather than one odd-shaped L? So there's two options we could do here. We could pretend like there is a line right here, or we could pretend like there is a line here. You'd have to choose one or the other. I'm going to choose the first one. So I'm going to pretend like there's a line right here, and I'm going to find the area now of this box first and this box second. Then I'm going to add them all together. So let's do the blue box first. Okay. So I just need to do like I know, length times width. So here is my length, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 groups of 3. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go 9 times 3. My length times my width. 9 kilometers times 3 kilometers equals 27 kilometers squared. It's really important that we do the squared. So this box, this blue box, is 27 kilometers squared. I can even write that in there so I don't forget. 27 kilometers squared. So that would mean that if our tiles are 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, these massive kilometer size tiles, there'd be 27 that fit in that box. So now I need to do my my red box here, this one in here. So I'm going to use again my length times my width. So we could say this is my length, 5 kilometers. This is my width, 6 kilometers. So I need to do 5 times 6. My length times my width equals 30 kilometers squared. So now I know that this box is 30 kilometers squared. And this one is 27 kilometers squared. So I know each of them separately, but I need to now combine them so I know the whole area of that entire shape. So I would need to go, let's choose green. Now I need to go 27, that's this one right here, plus 30 equals 57 kilometers squared. 57 kilometers squared would be the entire box's area now. So we found this one and we found this one. Now we're combining them together. So now we know the whole thing is 57 kilometers squared. Alrighty, here's a little math practice for you. I got 4 questions here. For each question, 1, 2, 3, 4, you need to find the perimeter and the area. Starting with number 1, it's nice, just a simple rectangle. The top and bottom sides are both 10 centimeters. That's why I've put the double lines there. 2 lines on this one, 2 lines on this one mean they're both the same. So each are 10. The sides, 8 centimeters. Find the perimeter, find the area. I gave you a little hint right here. Next, number 2. This one's a little more tricky. 5 meters on this side, 5 meters on the bottom. 2 meters, 2 meters, 3 meters, 3 meters. You need to find the perimeter, the fence, and you need to find the area. I gave you a little hint by putting this dashed line. When we are trying to find the area of something that's more than just a rectangle, you need to figure out how to split it up so you can find the area of both spaces that you split up and then add them together. So you would start by maybe finding the area of this rectangle first, then finding the area of this rectangle, and then adding those together. Gave you a hint again by putting the squared at the top. Number 3, a little bit more of an extension here, same thing. And I'm making you doing some critical thinking here. So this side right here is 5 kilometers. Now look at all these lines. Any side that has a line on it means it's 5 kilometers. So I put a line here, a line here, a line here, 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 and here. That means they're all the same. And then I want you to use some critical thinking. Once you find these, see if you can figure out what this bottom line is going to be then. Find the perimeter, find the area. Again, for this one, you'll have to add a line somewhere to make 2 rectangles rather than one weird shape. And finally, even more of an extension, I've used lines here. Anything with one line means it's the same as this one. Otherwise, find the perimeter and find the area. The area on this one, it's not just going to be one line. You may have to add more than one to make multiple different rectangles and then add them all together to find the area. And do not forget that important little thing that goes at the end of area. Anyway, this is your math practice for today. I'll see if I can bring this up and not make it too blurry. Maybe give it a pause so you can see the questions well. There you go. Take our time and make it up. We can be something that hashtag math. Oh yeah. I'm a healer.